What is your best parking spot revenge? So I'm a medical resident pulling insane zombie shifts at the hospital, and my apartment building has assigned parking. I pay an extra $50 a month for spot 12B, which is right by the stairs, prime real estate. After 12 hours of nonstop patients, alarms, and being yelled at by surgeons who haven't slept since 1999, the last thing I want is lugging groceries through the rain from the far back corner of the lot like I'm on Survivor. But this shiny black BMW keeps parking in my spot like he's the main character of the building. No sticker, no permit, just pure audacity. First time I saw it, I thought, okay, maybe he's visiting and doesn't know how this works. I left a super polite note, hey, this is reserved for residents, thanks. Next day, car gone, note gone. I thought, cool, problem solved. Wrong. 2 days later, Mr. BMW is back in my spot. This time, I left a less friendly note that basically said, move or I'm calling a tow truck. Car disappeared again, but of course it came crawling back. By week 3, I'd had enough. I actually called a towing company, waited 40 minutes for them to show up, standing there like a parking vigilante, and of course the car magically vanished before the truck arrived. Tow guy just shrugged, gave me the whelp face, and left. I was fuming, but it kept happening every few days. I'd drag myself home after brutal shifts, half dead, and boom, BMW squatting in my space again. I'd have to park way in the back, hauling groceries, my med bag, and sometimes laundry across the lot like I was trekking Everest. One night it was pouring rain, bags ripping, medical textbooks falling out, me looking like a drowned raccoon. By the time I got inside, I was shaking with fury. That was the night I decided I was done playing nice. So next time the BMW showed up, I executed my evil master plan. I pulled my ancient, beat-up Toyota Corolla. This car's got one hubcap and a permanent coffee smell, like 1 inch from the driver's side door. No way anyone was getting in unless they were Gumby. Then I called my friend Katie, who drives this massive Jeep that could probably run over a small house. She came by, and I had her park basically kissing distance from the passenger side. The BMW was boxed in tighter than leftovers in Tupperware. I went upstairs, made tea, and waited like some parking lot supervillain. Around 9 p.m., angry stomping echoed in the hallway, followed by pounding on my door. I opened it to find this dude, late 20s, red-faced and sweating, looking like a toddler mid-tantrum. He started screaming that I couldn't do this, and he had to leave for work in the morning. I hit him with the sweetest smile and said, "Oh, really? That's exactly how I feel every time you steal my spot." His jaw dropped. He threatened to call the cops. I told him, "Please do. I'm legally parked in the space I pay for every month." He ranted about harassment and how unreasonable I was. I laughed and said, "Unreasonable is stealing someone's spot 10 times after they left notes." He stomped off, still raging. Sure enough, 20 minutes later, 2 cops showed up. I calmly explained everything while BMW guy was still in the hallway yelling like a maniac. The officers asked him for proof that he lived in the building. Spoiler, he couldn't because he didn't. Turns out he was just crashing at his girlfriend's place in Unit 8A and thought parking was a free-for-all. The cops handed him a trespassing citation and warned him that if his car was ever in a resident's space again, it was getting towed immediately. Then they made him move the car right then. Watching him awkwardly climb through the passenger side window in front of 2 unimpressed officers was the highlight of my entire week. And then, chef's kiss, the finale. His girlfriend came down mid-drama. She had no clue he'd been parking in assigned spots. She started ripping into him for embarrassing her in front of all the neighbors. Right there in the lot, she told him if he couldn't respect people's property, he could find somewhere else to sleep. They got into a screaming match loud enough for everyone in the building to hear. She yelled about always cleaning up after his crap, him whining that it was just a parking spot. She wasn't buying it. By midnight, she was literally throwing his stuff out her door. From my window, I watched him load his BMW with clothes, a sad lamp, random junk, looking like his whole world had collapsed over a parking spot. He drove off into the night, defeated. Never saw that car in 12B again.